Hi y'all, like I said, I've been cleaning out my closet and I've been finding some vintage oldie type perfumes from the 80s that I thought I might bring out and just talk about. Yeah, and some of these are leaving, or they're not going to be getting, they're kind of going to be relegated to the get rid of shelf. And some of these will be staying, and I'll discuss why. So one of the ones that will be leaving is this, and this is a beautiful bottle. So yeah, this is the gold frosted glass with a gorgeous flower bottle, and this is Clinique's aromatics elixir, and this is the limited edition bottle, and I bought it because I thought, you know, the bottle is so beautiful, and also it was super cheap. It was clearance, and also because aromatics elixir was like, I was thinking I didn't really get a chance to smell it when I was young because this was the type of perfume that I hated. So I thought, now that I'm a little older, I mean a lot older, just to be accurate, but I might as well go back and revisit it to see if I can now appreciate like this type of perfume. And the answer for this one is no. This one has, coriander, it has, all these notes. Ideally, I should like it, but there's just something about this that is, to me, it's like unbalanced. So what I smell mostly in this is I feel like it's too buttoned up. There's some note in here that's really dark and dank and kind of like musty. It's really dark. It kind of like covers up all the other notes. This has like 30 notes or something, and some of them smell like they might be really delightful, but because of this one dominating note, it's too heavy and thick, and it kind of masks everything, and everything is like kind of like a mismatch of that. So I can't, on my skin, I can't really get it. So it might be possible that because I have dry skin, I have low body temperature, that it takes heat or something, some amount of effort, like maybe sweat or something, to thin this out so you can smell some of the other notes. But this is, to me, like a solo note, and it's just this one dark, dank, musty note from like the 80s, like the darkest and dankest, and I can't get into it. So I can't break through that dank crust. So it's going to be a no for me. Another one that is, brighter, lighter, but it's still like a no for me is this. This is called Diva. I think this might be from Emmanuel Ungaro. And the weirdest thing is I remember smelling the perfume strips in the magazines, so they used to have magazines with pages that have the strips of perfume, and they would be, I think nowadays they have them in these aluminum sort of peel away pouches that are small, but because they're aluminum, the perfume is still wet when you smell it, so it gives a more accurate, realistic, true to life experience or sample. But back in the day when they had the powdery, it was like a paper envelope, the flap, you rip it open, and then in between would be this powdery type of perfume. And I remember the Diva powdery perfume thing smelled amazing. So I used to like buy the magazines, and I would rip out the scent strips from them, and I would put them in the perfume drawers with it, or closet or something like that. So for some reason it smelled amazing in that form, so I don't know. Maybe it needs to be thinned out or something, I don't know. Or it emphasizes some notes over others. This one is just like a really bright and kind of high floral version of the 80s, and it's like I said, like a diva kind of. You can imagine an opera diva, like a soprano hitting the high notes. It's kind of high like that. But I feel like after they hit that note, it's kind of doesn't really let any other note shine. So I don't really feel like this is like that harmonious. It's kind of like a one note pony is kind of how it feels. So even though this is like nice, it's not nice enough to fight for like space on my overcrowded shelves and dresser drawer top. So this is gonna go. But ones that are staying are this. Okay, so this is like an amazing one, Moschino. And this is Moschino. So this is Eau de Toilette. I can't believe this is actually an Eau de Toilette, because today this would be like Eau de Parfum, maybe like even Absolute or something. But this is like outstanding to me. If you like vintage perfumes, you might want to give this a go, because I feel like those two were unbalanced, or they were just like one-dimensional, but this is a multi-dimensional, and it also has many layers that it comes out so you can enjoy it. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I'm smelling this, oh, I'm smelling that, you know. And then so I bought this for like $15.99 or $20 or something, like 15 years ago or something, 10 years ago, super cheap online. And you know, I remembered it fondly. I think I smelled one of those strips and I thought, you know, yeah, I'll get one of these Mosquitos, right? And I'm so happy that I did. So even though I don't wear this a lot, but it is still very, I respect this a lot. I think this is like one of those masterpieces. And if you had to choose between, you know, if you wanted a nostalgia thing, this is maybe the one that you should get. So this one is so cool that I will go on to Fragrantica to show you. So this is it, Fragrantica, and it's like fresh, spicy, aromatic, warm, spicy, floral, woody, balsamic, green, powdery, amber, and slightly sweet. So yes, it is all of those things. And this is the notes they have it. So in the top, it's slightly plummy and fruity. So it's lightened up by honeysuckle and freesia, but it also has galbanum. So galbanum is that bitter, slightly bitter green note that they have, but it's not heavy. This is delightful. And it also has nutmeg and carnation, which are spicy, and pepper, ylang ylang, gardenia, rose. So these give like a rich feel. I feel like gardenia, ylang ylang, carnation, and nutmeg were kind of like the basis notes for a lot of the spicy ambers from the 80s, and they gave it all this like really round, rich feeling. It's like a round gold floral feeling, you know. This has amber, sandalwood, patchouli, vanilla, and musk. So yes, this one is a multi-dimensional. It's not heavy. It's like slightly fruity, but it's like rich, fruity, gold, spicy amber, but not too spicy. This is like really cool. And I think men and women can really wear this, and it's delightful. So this is like the opposite of this dank perfume right here. This one makes you think of like, you know, you're going into like the basement of a monastery or something, you know what I mean? It kind of has that dark, like really dark, dark purple brown, like kind of heaviness. It's kind of slightly oppressive and dominating, but this one is not. This one is like rich. This smells like rich floral gardenia amber with a little bit of plum and galbanum and freesia in it. So this to me is just bright and happy, like seriousness. It's hard to describe. This is both feminine and masculine. I feel like this is like a really good thing to have. If you have the spare change, it's probably selling for super cheap, you know what I mean? And if you want like to get a vintage one, you might give this a try. You know, it's not safe, you know, most vintage stuff is not safe for people nowadays, because people nowadays, it's like once you go there, you really can't go all the way back. I mean, I can say that I'm a fan of like vintage stuff, but I've been influenced by the new ways, you know, and yeah, the new way is like really a good way, because you actually have florals that smell like real flowers and not like approximations. But anyways, this is like a really good one. And these are some other ones that I'm going to keep as well and that I really like. And this is navy, and this was like $5 from like a corner store or something like that, drugstore. And this was like, it's like a friendly 80s amber. I think, like, you know, if you want something but it's like easier wearing, it's not tough, it's like kind of like, it's vintagey, but it's still like clean and soapy, kind of like vintagey. It's like vintage. It's not like your ferocious woman in a padded like suit or something like that, like, you know, Faye Dunaway or something like that, or whoever, Joan Crawford, scary. This is like soft and kind of like, I remember they were saying that this was like navy, like the color navy. It's like your comfortable, classy, quiet perfume. So I think this would, you know, be $5. You know, some people might like this. You know, it's not stinky like the other ones can be. I mean, not stinky, but you know what I mean. This is like kind of very mild. So this is like something that I can wear, you know, for nostalgia day or something like that. And it's nice and fun. I think in the fall it should be like really good. And then another one, these are ones that I actually really like. One of the only gardenia and peach and tuberose ones that I used to really like, I mean, not really like, because I used to really hate tuberose, is Sand and Sable. And this one, it has peach, it has gardenia, it has like musk, I think. And this is just like an innocent peachy tuberose floral, like white floral. It's rich smelling, but it's not indolic, and it's not like terrible. You know, it's airy, it's airier. It's like the tolerable tuberose that I have. I have now gotten a liking to tuberose, but back then this was like the only one that I liked. And it's kind of like tender for a tuberose. This is like a tender tuberose because it has the peach, it has like a little that lightens it up and stuff, and it has a little bit of gardenia. It's not overly overwhelming, although in that heat I probably wouldn't wear it. But you know, this is not bad. This is like very innocuous, and it's probably like under $20 at the drugstore or something like that. I've had this for like 20 years. And yeah, so this was a nostalgia buy, and I'm keeping this. I still do occasionally wear 1 or 2 spritzes once in a while. And these two are some of my favorites. And this is Oscar de la Renta. This is my second bottle. There's something about this that it's just bright. You know what I mean? It's just bright and happy. Which I bet you didn't think that vintage perfumes can be bright and happy without being fruity. So this is a rich, bright white floral in the best sense of the word, white floral. It's also kind of like smells like a sunshiny spring day to me. Yeah, so this is my second bottle. This is a 1 ounce, and this was one of the first bottles that I was ever able to really finish. I've never previously really finished any bottles because, you know, you get sick and tired of it, but this was one of the only ones that I did. And this to me is just like classy. It's 80s, yes. But it's also bright and happy. I feel happy when I wear this. It kind of is a mood booster. Even though it's like a vintage floral, it doesn't have the downer note as the Clinique like aromatic solicitor. That thing is kind of like depressing, actually. It's like depression in a bottle. But this to me is kind of like sunshine in a bottle. And so is this. So this one is my second bottle of this is like L'air du Temps, the classic one, Eau de Toilette. And I have another bottle of it that's not in this classic style. So this one had a really beautiful cap with 2 doves flying in flight. And I freaking, of course, lost it. So now it looks hideous like this. But this one is also a bright, happy, white floral from the 70s. And it has carnation. Both of these have carnation, you know, and they're both have a little bit of cloves, but they're not oppressively stinky like that. You know, it's bright. It's like sunshine. So it's like, back then this was considered fresh, you know what I mean? And it's a little bit more delicate than the other ones. So it has a little bit of powder, but it's not oppressive. So these two I really like. And these two are forever keepers. Thank you. Have a good one.